Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. I am Shriraja, your contest chair for the debate contest. I welcome you all to the debate contest organized by Utthishta Toastmasters at the club level. A debate is a discussion or a structured contest about an issue or a resolution which is previously informed to the debate contest participants. A formal debate involves two sides. One supporting a resolution, the proposition team, and one opposing it, the opposition team. The purpose of the debate contest is to provide an opportunity for the speakers to improve their logical thinking, argumentative skills, and speaking abilities, and further to recognize exceptional speakers. Today, for this contest, we have 16 speakers. I am confident that the audience is going to have a wonderful time listening to a brilliant debate. Let me set the rules for the debate contest. The debate opens with the proposition team presenting their opening arguments, followed by the opposition team presenting their opening arguments. This pattern, inclusive of rebuttals, is repeated for the consecutive speakers in an alternate fashion from each team. Finally, both teams, specifically the team captains, get an opportunity to once again approach the stage to make the closing arguments. Timings for the debate. Each speaker from both the teams will be prepared and presented with an opportunity to present their arguments for 1 to 2 minutes. The timers will be displaying the cards at the appropriate time intervals to indicate the speakers of the remaining time. There will be 2 timers for today, Toastmaster Vinuta and Toastmaster Abhishek. I request the timer to hold the cards now for the reference of the audience and the contestants. The green card will be displayed at the end of 1 minute and will remain displayed for a period of 30 seconds. The yellow card will be displayed at the end of 1.5 minutes and will remain displayed for a period of 30 seconds. The red card will be displayed at the end of 2 minutes and will remain displayed until the speaker stops speaking. There will be a grace period of 30 seconds for each speaker to conclude their speech. No indication of extension of time beyond the grace period will be made aware to the contestants during the debate contest. There will be silence for a period of 30 seconds between the change of order of speakers to enable the judges to mark the ballots. There cannot be any interruptions while a speaker is on stage by either of the teams. The team members are at liberty to communicate with their respective team members during the debate contest through the passing of notes. Both the teams have been presented with the common motion of debate. The motion is, the world is becoming a better place. In order to establish an assertion or refutation of the motion, the respective teams may support it with evidence, logic, emotion, and factual accuracy. Visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use if desired. Both the teams have declared the usage of properties for their speeches, and the same has been verified with the consultation of the Chief Judge. The teams and the speakers must at all times ensure that they refrain from unparliamentary usage of language, unsolicited personal attacks, such as the kind of argument that criticizes another argument by criticizing the arguer or the speaker rather than the argument. The conventions, ethical standards, bylaws, and practices prescribed by Toastmasters International must be borne in mind during the debate contest. The Chief Judge for today's debate contest is Toastmaster Gopalakrishna Hegde. Protests can only be raised by either the contestants or the judges to the Chief Judge or to myself, the contest chair, prior to the announcement of the results. The judge's decision is final. There are 2 debating teams, each consisting of 8 speakers each. The speaking order of the teams, as determined by the respective team captains, are as follows. Team A, Proposition Team, Captain Girish Pai, Vijay Mahalakshmi Rajaji, Neeraj Lodi, Yash Dugar, Krishna Gopal Ram, Vijay Dashmi M, Sri Vidya M.R., Chandramauli S. The speaking order of Team B, Opposition Team, led by Team Captain R. Rajesh Kannan, second speaker Mahesh Hegde, Purnima A.V., Sonu Kumari, Manish R., Ramanathan Subramaniam, Sudhir Gurjar, Shashank Raghavendra. I request the speakers to confirm that they have deposited their cell phones with the sergeant at arms for the duration of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, the debate contest now begins. First speaker from Proposition Team, Girish Pai.
People of current generation solving the problem which never existed 30 to 40 years back. There were huge disparity in those days between white collar and grey collar jobs. Good evening, Toastmasters, opponents, and my guests. Mangutimma, kelsa khali latamma. This was a famous song from movie Kicha, which was released in the year 2003. Whenever, that time I was in college, and whenever I heard that song, I used to get skeptical. Day in and day out, I used to get only one question within me. Will I be able to survive? Will I be able to get a job? And with the capability what I have, will I be able to make it out? But that year onwards, globalization took place and it showed its effect. Not only that, there was huge surge in IT jobs and it changed the GDP of world. Even developed and developing countries were not aware of. As per the BBC's reading, every once in 7 years, employees' salary of these countries got doubled. There are millions of people who are doing this job. And it's not only helping people who are educated, but also it's giving job opportunity to the people who are in unstructured areas like cab driving, hoteliers, and many others. Because of all these opportunities, many of us are surviving and leading a happy life. Opportunities are given to the people who say world is becoming better. And also to the people who say world is not becoming better. What else we need in a better world like this? Thank you.
First speaker from opposition team, R. Rajesh Kannan.
Look at today's paper. Look at today's paper. Rainfall deficiency of 53% in Bangalore district. Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guest. Gandhiji said, agriculture is the backbone of economy. Even after 72 years of independence, our farmers are struggling like anything. They are toiling us, but they are still hungry, deprived, depressed. They are not able to do the irrigation properly because of mediator, non-availability of urea and poor rainfall. It happens. Farmers are under impression, farmers are making money. Not at all. I spoke to one of my cousins last week. He said he spent 1.25 lakhs for 3 months, but yield was only 45,000 rupees. When my friends and relatives, farmers are dying and committing suicide, how can I consider this world is a better place to live? It is not becoming better place. I don't know the opponents who is sitting right side. They are not read properly. And they are talking about the globalization. Globalization will not help for the normal man. It helps only for the developed countries, not like India. More than 25 lakhs people have lost their job during COVID. And Toastmaster Girish told, salary has been doubled. I am working for last 25 years, 30 years. My salary has not become double. I think he is referring only IT industries. If you feel world is becoming better, you should first consider for the farmers. Farmers should come out. Farmers should grow. Farmers are God for us. If you feel world is smarter, be more smarter. Thank you.
Second speaker from proposition team, Vijay Mahalakshmi Rajaji.
Brothers and guests, good evening. Sport has the power to change the world. Sport has the power to change the world, said Nelson Mandela. Sport inspires and unites people in a way that it little else does. Sports are no more entertainment, or it's in a free time. I took a break. I played badminton games. Now, sports is considered as positive change in the society. Sports is considered as a positive change in society, which brings healthy competition, which unites teams with their friendly matches, and we are looking at social cause. The corporates are looking at the social cause, and they are looking at creating eco-friendly products without using animal-based products. Apart from that, supporting the environment cause, marathons, which is happening all over the world for a social cause, which helps people to uplift their life. So I would say, world is a better place by impacting all these people through sports, and which is an important factor in the society. Thank you.
Second speaker from opposition team, Mahesh Hegde.
Raise your hands if you have fond memories of your school days. Good evening, Toastmasters, contestants, and guests. Last 2 years were horrible for students. I could see my son sitting all the time at home, and he was watching TVs and attending online classes, morning to evening. He missed all the fun that we all had. He could not attend in-person classes, and he missed his friends, and he started developing eyesight problems. The golden year, 2 years, was lost. Can you imagine that? I could see that his favorite teacher, Miss Pratima, left the teaching job and she became a coconut seller. Came across an article published by McKinsey, which stated that a 12th standard student almost lost 5 months of learning, which is going to cause a big impact on his or her future income. This is a terrific thing. It's also going to have bigger impact on GDP of strong nations like United States, over 3%. My friend told that there is the sports. Sports was there before also. Sports is there now also. You do not know how it made the world to become better. never had physical activities or sports. Everyone was at home. I believe that world is not becoming a better place to live, but we need to put a lot of effort to make it better today. Over.
Third speaker from Proposition E. Neeraj Lodi.
I was reading an article from a normal Nielsen report in 2016. So there was a one very successful person who went to a 5-star hotel and he suddenly enters into the washroom and he spotted a spider and he forgets everything, the luxurious hotel, the facilities they are given. This is called a negative bias. This is a very common tendency of people to looking at negative things and not appreciating the positive things. I agree, there are problems with everyone. But tell me one thing, what is the first step to solve the problem? Is to recognize it. Have we recognized the problems we are having? There are various stigmas with job type, with females in education or jobs, with transgenders, with marriage by choice. Lot of stigmas are there. Let me talk about the one mental health issue, which is a very big stigma and which relates to the people about jobs, education, physical disability people. So the first thing to resolve the to these stigmas, to resolve the mental health issues is have we recognized it? Yes, we have recognized it. The UN has in its UN declaration mentioned mental health issue as a human right. If you talk about India, our government in its recent budget has put a budget especially for mental health issues. There are institutes which are going to open for tele-health mental health issues, which will be supported by IIT Bangalore in the technology side. Other than that, if you look, there are lot of education, there are lot of courses. Just go to internet, go to Coursera, Udemy, everywhere you will find courses on mental health issues, psychology. You can be a trainer on that. In the community of trainers and people who are telling people, who are making people, supporting them, coming out of their problems is still going on. So, I'll end with a very good quote. We shall overcome one day. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome one day. Thank you.
Third speaker from Opposition team. Purnima A.B.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
And the contestants. Toastmasters, this world is not a better place to live in. I'm going to elaborate that how our health is affected and at risk of getting diseases. We recently witnessed Corona overpowering us and made us understand where we stand. Yes, I do agree. We have jobs of IT professions. Even the urban people and the rural people are doing this job. The globalization technology have taken our world over. And the definition of health, the physical, mental, and the social well-being is affected to the large extent. Even though we are doing jobs and earning money, we don't have time to think what to eat. And we want to fill up our stomachs and we go to the fast food outlets and eat whatever unwanted things and fill up our stomach. The balanced diet word is forgotten altogether at all. And then coming to and also the one side there is seeing the fast food counters and the other side gymnasiums. We are gaining obesity and reducing here. We are making out of money from the IT jobs, we are spending it here. And what's the use of it and losing our health in between? I can say. And coming to mental health, sound mind in a sound body, where we are getting sleep. Sleep is affected. How can we be healthy? The circadian rhythm is affected. And infertility is occupying everybody. The fertility centers and the semen banks and the preservation of the woman banks are all around. And our social well-being is affected. There's no human relationship at all. We need to
transportation does more than what we think it helps us. If transportation was not there, the world would have been a different place. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Earlier, my parents used to travel 5 to 10 kilometers by bicycling to reach their schools and offices. Nowadays, we have the facility to travel wherever we want using cabs, metros, private transportation, and we have transportation like roadways, airways, and waterways. Nowadays we have underground transportation as well. It was recorded at as $57 billion of economic growth was recorded in 2020 of transportation, and it is estimated that $113.4 billion will be estimated in 2026, which is a CAGR of 12.1% increase. Sustainable transportation helps people to be in a better environment place, and it helps achieve greener solution while transporting. The world's fastest train is maglev, which is in China. It can cover 30.5 kilometers in less than 8 minutes. We can reach the moon by driving in less than a month. These are few transportation facts shared. As Toastmaster Rajesh Khanna said, that farmers are not benefiting and they are depriving from the age. I would like to say that government has given schemes for farmers like MSP, which gives farmers the ability to gain more, and subsidies which helps them. The Toastmaster Purnima said that the social media and the environment is not helping us. I would like to say that we have to focus on what we do. We have to not focus on what not needs to be done. And we have to, the social media doesn't attack us. What we think, we do that. The world is becoming a better place to live, and I believe that. Thank you.
Thank you. Fourth speaker from opposition team, Sonu Kumari.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
We humans are always born to travel. Our desires makes things sometimes impossible. Every day we are seeing people are visiting Kedarnath, Badrinath, Goa to accomplish these crowd facilities are taking lots of hotels, motels, helicopter facilities. And to facilitate all the things, what we are doing, we are chopping wood. We are changing the direction of the rivers. It's adverse that we all witnessed 2017 Kedarnath devastating flood and the landslide. And the recent Vaishno fighting forest. Who are responsible for it? We. You women. You are responsible for it. As per Times of India report, all the Gangotri, Yamnotri, the lakes and the seas become the seas of garbage. Who are responsible for it? We, the human. We are making our nature pollutant. We are polluting soil quality. We are polluting the water, air quality. It's impacting us. As per the report, we are using the innocent animals for our transport. Why? For Chilatan Yatra. It's impacting animals. We are making the world the worst place for the living creature, for the animals, for the species. Sports are generally people following, but more people are following the athletes. These days, athletes are more focused on advertisement. Our youth are following them, and because of peer pressure, they are pressurizing their parents to buy things. Do you need these type of depressed youth? No. We can't make what with these depressed people. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Fifth speaker from proposition team, Krishna Gopal Ram.
best is yet to come, and the better is happening right now. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I have no doubt that the world is becoming a better place. Only we have to see it positively. There are hundreds of news in the newspapers. We have to see the positive 180 and ignore the 20 negatives. That we have to do. That is our role. The world is becoming a better place, and technology is helping to improve that by leaps and bounds. My learned opponents will agree that the mobile they are using right now has evolved so well. It has replaced calendar, mobile, and the meeting rooms, and so many other things they have removed it. Whether you will be using the old mobile right now, I don't think you will be ready to use that anymore. This technology has taken us so far in our home as well as the outer world. In home, the smart mobiles, the smart fridge, the smart mirror. You know what the smart fridge can do? They can buy food for you. They can buy vegetables. They can order those things. Smart mirrors, they can tell the vitamin deficiencies what you have. When you see, they can able to tell. The smart toothbrush. You have to use the smart toothbrush. They will collect the data of your dental and it will send to dentist. Who had believed those things? Earlier it was totally impossible. Now, with technology, all these things are possible. In the outer world, the mega machines, they are doing all the Herculean tasks effortlessly. Outer further in the space, the Virgin Blue, the Galactic, and the Amazon Blue, they all are trying to colonize the Mars. With all this technology, we are definitely, I have no iota of doubt that the world is becoming a better place. With that, I would conclude my thank you.
Hello.
Fifth speaker from opposition team, Manish R.
A dog is often referred to me as a man's best friend. If you were to ask my opinion, I would say a man is a dog's worst enemy. Good evening, contest masters and my learned opponents. One precise evening, I remember receiving a video from my friend. What I saw in that video made me want to smash my phone and made me want to question where we are heading as a human race. What I saw in the video was a 22-year-old man casually picking his dog, walking up to his terrace and dropping it from his terrace. I thought this is a dog. It was entitled dog. This entitlement has led to cruelties that has surpassed any form of measures. According to a report in the Hindu, year on year, there is 20% increase in the rate of animal cruelties that has been committed. In the past decade, there has been 5 lakh cases that has been reported on animal cruelty. The sad fact about this stat is that experts estimate that this is the least that has been reported. I would like to question my learned opponents. Despite us witnessing and hearing about such gruesome things that have been committed, is it possible to believe that the world is heading to a better place? I don't believe so. And with regards to Toastmaster Krishna Gopal, who said that smart fridges can order food for ourselves, I know what smart fridges do. They can emit a lot of CFCs that affects the atmosphere. With this, I would like to rest my case that the world is not heading to a better place. Thank you.
Sixth speaker Proposition E. Vijay Rashmi M.
This is the feeling that I get every Monday morning as I start my journey to my office. As I started, my mind space is occupied with a lot of traffic around me. As I reach Kabul Park, the road which is between the park, as I enter that, that's when I am calm, a little composed. The green space over there is something that gives me the confidence. Good evening, Toastmasters, and yes. Thing that I want to really put across today, taking this green space at a global level. We are talking about deforestation. In last 2 decades ago, deforestation was about 16 million hectares per annum. Currently, it is about 10 million hectares per annum, which is a sea change. It is all of us who really triggered all that. Talking a few things further on. In India, tiger population is typically 100% better in the last 2 decades, 70s to what we are now. Several examples. Whales, they are loitering around in their ecosystem at this point in time, despite all the water fins that we have. What more do you think is required to call Earth a better place? We, human beings, are also accommodating the animals and the creatures around us holistically as an ecosystem. The best part about this is kids these days are typically thinking about it. They have views about it. What more can we ask for? Our future definitely is in better hands. With all these thoughts in the kid, gone are the days where things used to be things. It is thoughts over things now. People are thinking in the right direction. With all that, I rest my case, thinking world is definitely a better place than what it was earlier. And it's definitely going to be better than what we are doing. Thank you.
Sixth speaker from opposition E. Ramanathan Subramanian.
What a wonderful line and the joke of the century you people are doing. You are not buttering it, let me tell you. There are those classes and tests. Somebody an American got into the car in US. Suddenly he saw that. Hey, you are an Afghan minister, right? And he said, yes, I was. How come you have been to drive car accident? Because of your American. Well, you people only did the work. You people only did it. Then, there was a family who was just standing in front of the biggest British jail in the morning with 6 children. And the guy was looking, and the owner of the shop came in the morning for a walk. He was asking, sir, can you give me some job? Can you give me some job? He said, yes. So he was the chief agricultural officer of Ukraine. And the Tilagaratane, he was just standing along with his family, and the small kid asked, Dad, can you give me lunch? And his wife, I could tears. He will arrange it. Because, you see, they cannot buy it. And if you go to the place like Syria, and the children do not know where the parents, and parents do not know where the children. Till today, more than 1.5 crores of population has become a refugee. This is the world, what we are today. And if you don't know who is going to govern for how many days, that is another problem. We are talking about triple the salary, spider one place, talking about transformation good, we are talking about smart gadgets. My friends, fellow Toastmasters, please see, you are seeing only one side, you are not seeing the other side. Go to you check.
Seventh speaker from Proposition
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. About 90 years ago, my grandmother, when she was a little girl, she did not have the privilege of completing her education. 30 years later, when my mother was a young girl, in 1970s, she was able to complete her education. Cut to 30 years later, I am currently standing here with an educational degree and a full-time job in my hand. From generation to generation, we are seeing progress in how women are getting more and more opportunities in this world and becoming more and more empowered. As per the data published by UNESCO in the year 1976, there were only 58% of women in this world who were literates. As of the latest data that they have published, there are 82.7% women who are literates today. If that is not progress, then what is? My learned operant Toastmaster Rajesh here displayed a newspaper to all of us. Toastmaster Rajesh, I'm sorry, no newspaper is going to publish that peace has been prevailed from the last 40 years. Of course, they are going to pick up negative news. As far as Toastmaster Mahesh mentioned that online classes were declining people's childhood and the quality of their childhood. Let me tell you where and how we have progressed. Earlier, if we had a crisis like this, there wouldn't even be a way to go to school and continue our education. With the help of technology, we are able to sit at home and still get educated. That is definitely a sign of a better tomorrow. Toastmaster Sona here mentioned that the environment and the animals are decreasing. Let me give you an example of how these endangered species and the injured animals are being rescued. As per the data published by the UN again, humpback whales, the whooping cranes, as well as some species of frogs were also almost restored to their original normalcy in the according to their recent findings. We are definitely heading towards a better tomorrow. We just have to see it through positive eyes. I rest my case.
Seventh speaker from opposition team, Sudhi Gujjar.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. My opponents have focused on the quantitative improvements in our lives. Yes, we have made all manner of technological advancements. How has it benefited the quality of our lives? How well do we spend our time? We may get more and more free time from our technological advancements. But my case is, we do not use it wisely. We have lost the art of being patient, especially. Whenever there was a housewarming or a wedding in the family, the senior members of the family used to personally go out and invite near and dear ones. That is no longer the case. Today we are content with taking a few minutes from our lunch break and inviting even our closest friends over a phone call. I used to write letters to my cousins during my childhood. Today, how many of us write those letters? We are content with an occasional phone call or sometimes even with a message. That means we have very few memories to look back to after the passage of years. Toastmasters and guests, this lack of patience has spilled over to our professional life as well. When a new employee joins a company, they expect a raise or a promotion within just a year or at the most 2 years. If the company wants to examine their performance and defer the promotion or the raise, the employee is generally more than willing to jump ship. That is, they don't have the patience. We, in general, don't have the patience needed to carry out our lives in a meaningful way that is beneficial to ourselves and to those around us. Yes, we have more and more means of transport, but less and less discipline on the road. We spend more and more time every year to reach the same place, be it home or work. Thank you.
Eighth
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. For past 2 years, most of us asked, each of us have suffered from COVID, one way or the other. But if we compare it to 100 years or 200 years, we must call ourselves lucky because we were born in this era. First one. Any of you have heard of Black Death? Good of you. What about Spanish flu? Good. The number of people who were affected by Black Death was about 500 million. Number of deaths were about 200 million. Spanish flu, number of people affected were more than 250 million. Number of people died were more than 55 million. Sorry, 200 million and 50 million. But number of people affected COVID has been more than 600 million. Number of deaths is nearly 6 million. It is equivalent to 1%. How is it possible? It is because of the present technology. And more importantly, when influenza came in 1980, more and more number of people were dying. But only the vaccine came in 1940. The amount of time it took for the vaccine to come was of more than 2 decades. But now, we got COVID vaccine in 6 months. This is because of technology. We are living in a better place. And as our learned captain said about the farmers, sir, I am really feeling bad by your emotions. But the thing is, you should have better media actually. You can't expect a newspaper to give proper information. And according to the research, basic Google technological research, you would have got some numbers. First and foremost, India is the biggest, one of the largest producers of wheat. Today we are considered as the food basket of the world. We are giving wheat to the other countries. We are even one of the people who are the biggest exporters of food, not only paddy, grains, every type of food. So I just want to conclude by saying one thing. We are in a better place than what we were before, health-wise, environmental-wise, and more importantly, education-wise. Thank you.
Eighth speaker from opposition team, Shashank Raghavendra.
Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race, said Michael Jackson in his song Heal the World back in 1992. Because he believed that the world needed more healers because of the way we have spoiled the one free gift, Mother Nature. So many people came up on the stage, shared their wonderful, positive experiences about how we are advancing towards a better world. Neeraj, you said we should always find the cause. We should recognize the problem. Have you found the cause? You spoke about depression. We have recognized the problem. Have you found its cause? Today, technology is at its all-time high. Somebody spoke about smart fridge, which will tell you what you are supposed to eat. Why? Can't you decide that? The most complex machine ever created in the world is a human being, the hardest to understand. Yet, we rely on other things to tell us what we are supposed to do to ensure a healthy life. Wow, what an irony. Huh? We live in the technological era, but also the neck bent era, where every other person you see on the road. What about your health? Have you ever considered that? We speak about advancements in technology, but did you know ever since the rise in PET scan machines, cancer percentage has gone up by 50%. My own sister was diagnosed with cancer. So I know that the flaw that's there in this technological industry. Sadly, we submit to it. Why? Because we know nothing about it. The world is not becoming a better place. In fact, we are spoiling it more and more. Somebody said tiger population was got back to normal, I asked why did it didn't reduce? That's it. Back to you.
Concluding arguments from first speaker of proposition team, Girish Pai.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests once again. My learned opponent Rajesh Kannan said there is a 53% deficiency in food items. But I think we did not read that newspaper properly. Recent Ukraine war and European countries and American countries are asking for wheat from India. Where is the deficiency? Our crops are getting spoiled. They are not at all utilized properly. And in recent meeting, I was telling 5 positive news will be suppressed by 1 negative news. You know how? By flashing newspaper like this on everybody's faces. If you flash like that, everybody will say world is becoming bad day in and day out. Next, Toastmaster Purnima said, social well-being is affected. You mean to say physical, but it is available online. Even you can talk to a person who is sitting in US and you can know what he is doing every day. Social well-being is not affected, but it is transformed. I would like to say that. Next, you said about fast food. Is it requirement of hotelier or the people? People like to eat fast food. It's not only fast food. In the globalized world, we want to eat Italian, we want to eat Russian, we want to eat not Chinese, but not from other countries. So it's a part of that. Now Toastmaster Sonu Kumari said, advertisement, people are doing everything for advertisement. Who is giving them scope? Do you know there is a singer maestro Ilayaraja, musical maestro Ilayaraja? Does he do any advertisement? Because people will not follow him. That's why there is no advertisement for him. But it's a source of income for many companies. Do you ever boycotted your ads? With all these, negative will be upheld because of all such things, but positivity will always be there. That makes world becoming better. Thank you.
Concluding arguments from first speaker of opposition team, R. Rajesh Kannan.
ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಈ ಲೋಕ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಈ ಲೋಕ. Once again, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. All these people were confused. I said 53% shortfall in rainfall. I never said 53% deficiency in the food. And my friend, he said, phone, technology. One of the man disaster is technology. Because of today, everybody is having diabetes. I am telling you, after 15 or 20 years, all of us will have eye problem. Like a diabetes, everyone will have eye problem. I have to wait for 30 years. She studied, it takes another 30 years. Her grandmother studied, and her mother. So I have to wait for another 30 years to study that. And Toastmaster, yes. He said GDP increased to 12.6. I don't know which newspaper he read. GDP is only 7.8%, highest. So with this, what I feel, all these people have to buy some array and understand exactly what. And they have to read the correct media. Not with this. World is not definitely better place or not becoming a better place. Where here, 20 lakhs people have lost their job. We are not telling that person, India is the number 1 position, our friend told. Sorry, farmers are dying. We are exporting, we are not dying. My friends and relatives, farmers are committing suicide. Do Do you feel still the world is becoming better place only? Not at all. Not at all. So I feel world is not becoming better place, rather the it is becoming worse place.
Now, there will be 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I request the timer to indicate the same once the time